Hey guys, welcome to my legal classes. This is Ganesh Pujari and we were discussing chapter 5 of Indian Penal Code, which is about abatement. And in this series, this is my second video. In my first video, I have already in detail covered section 107 and 8 along with the chart as well as case laws. Here we are going to discuss 4 important punishment provisions starting from section 109 to 112. Why to waste time? Let's get into the first slide. The first section that we are discussing here is section 109, which discusses about punishment of abatement if the act abated is committed in consequence and where no express provision is made for its punishment. Now here what happens, let us go through with an illustration. There is one Mr. A and B. Now A abets B to kill Mr. Z. Now B kills Z on the abatement made by A or the instigation made by A, and now what is the punishment for A? That will be as equal to punishment for murder. Now that is what mentioned here. If there is separate provision for abatement, then it goes along with that. Like for example, under section 306 we have punishment for someone who is abetting suicide. There it is very clearly mentioned. If it is not mentioned, in that case, whatever is the punishment for conducting such offense, for abetting also, it will be the same punishment. The provision reads, whoever abets any offense shall, if the act abated is committed in consequence of the abatement and no express provision is made by this code for the punishment of such abatement, be punished with the punishment provided for the offense. As I have already told, for section 306, the abatement is very clearly mentioned, but for any offense, if the abatement part is not mentioned, in that case, the abatement is equal to the offense. That is very clear. Now, someone has abated, and as the consequence of that particular abatement, someone else has committed the offense. In that case, the abater get the punishment same as the punishment for the offense, and all the status related to the cognizable or non-cognizable or the bail or non-bailable or the punishment level, everything should go according to that particular offense. It is like you have abated is equal to you have committed that particular offense. That's how we need to read it. So what are the essentials or ingredients for section 109? There should be an abatement, and as a consequence of that, someone else is committing an offense, and in the act, that means under IPC, if there are any punishment available for abating that particular act, then the punishment will go according to that particular section. And if there is absence of anything for abatement, in that case, the abatement is equal to the commencement of that particular act or the offense. So the punishment will also be the same. That's all we need to remember. And the first illustration goes this way. A offers a bribe to B, a public servant, as a reward for showing some favor in the exercise of B's official functions. B accepts this bribe and A has abated the offense defined in section 161. Here somebody is abating the other to give bribe to a public servant, which is an offense as per section 161. However, this section is being repealed under the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988. That is one another aspect you can remember. What if there is a variation in the intention and knowledge of the abater and the person who got abated? That is what precisely discussed under 110, which says punishment of abatement if person abated does act with different intention from that of abater. Now, abater has a different knowledge and intention, whereas the person who got abated, he has a different knowledge and intention. In that case, whether the punishment liability will come down for the abater, the answer is no. It will be as equal to the same knowledge and intention. That is what we need to understand under section 110. And here the CRPC provisions will remain same as to the original offense. When it comes to the cognizable or bailable and punishment, it all remains same as for the offense that is being committed, or it is like the person has committed that particular offense and whatever punishment is available, that remains same. and the offenses here are non-compoundable offenses. With that, I am moving to section 111. Section 111 is quite interesting. Here what happens, there is an abatement and abater has a different intention, but the acts of the person who got abated are different than what exactly was being abated. Now it discusses about liability of abater when one act abated and different act done. Here what happens, the abater abates for a particular act, but the person who got abated, either he does some different act other than whatever he has been abated, or he does an additional act. That means he completes the act which for he was being abated, and then along with that he commences one more additional or some more additional act. In that case, what is the liability of the abater? Now to understand this, we need to understand the two beautiful illustrations given here. But before going there, remember, if a person is abating another and while doing that particular act, if additional acts or offenses are coming as a probable consequence of that particular act which is being abated, in that case it is the liability of the abater. And now, rather speaking in too much of English, let us try understand the entire scenario with the help of two illustrations. The first case goes like this. There is one Mr. A and one Mr. B. Now what does A do? A instigate B to burn the house of Z. Now what is the intention here? A want to burn the house of Z, and for that he is instigating Mr. B. Now what is the job of B? He should go and put fire and come back. But B does an additional thing. He goes to Z's home and he commits theft, and then after that he puts fire and comes back. Now what is the liability of A? A is liable only to the extent of putting fire to the house of Z. He has abated that particular act, so his punishment remains to that abatement only. Whereas B is punishable for putting fire as well as an additional offense, that is theft. Now theft is not any probable consequence of putting fire. He could have simply gone, put fire and come back. But this is an additional activity that he has done or additional offense that he has done, which is his own voluntary act, and A has nothing to do with that. So A will not be punished for theft committed by B, but of course for the abatement for putting fire, A will be punishable, whereas B will be punishable for both the act that he has done. So there the important aspect that we need to remember is theft is not a probable consequence of putting fire on somebody's home. Whereas the second illustration is much beautiful. Here what happens, there is one Mr. A who instigates B and C to break into the house of Mr. Z during midnight. This is house breaking in the night. Now what happens, B and C, while committing that act, Z, the owner of the house, wakes up and he tries to stop Mr. B and C, and as a consequence of fight happened between them, B and C kills Mr. Z. Now here A is punishable for both the abatement, that is the housebreak in the midnight, as well as the murder of Mr. Z, because the murder is probable consequence of housebreak in night. There is all opportunity that people can wake up while something happening at their home and they can resist, and as a result of such resistance there can be fight and there can be murder also. That is a probable consequence. Because it is a probable consequence, A is punishable for both housebreak in the night as well as murder of Mr. Z. I hope that is very clear. That is the liability of the abater. Whenever the probable consequence is available, abater becomes punishable for all the offenses related, whereas if the offense committed by the person who got abated, if he is committing something which is not a probable consequence of the act which is being abated, in that case the abater's liability limits to only to that extent for whatever he has been abated, that particular person. I hope that is very clear. And when it comes to CRPC provisions, it all goes same with the offense. Like if the offense is cognizable, then here the abatement is also cognizable. Likewise, bail and punishment are also going as equal to the offense, and here the offenses are non-compoundable offenses. The last section that I am discussing here is section 112, which discusses about abater when liable to cumulative punishment for act abated and for act done. Now this is a kind of continuation of section 111. What happens here? The abater abates for a particular offense, but the person who got abated, he commits a distinct offense which is not being abated for. Now here what happens, the abater will be liable for punishment for both the abatement as well as that distinct offense. Now how to understand this section? Imagine there is one Mr. A and B. Now B has committed certain offense, and for that a public servant is coming to arrest him. Now A instigates B to not to go with the public servant. Now in the attempt of not to go with the public servant, there was a fight between B and public servant, and B causes grievous hurt to the public servant. Here A has abated B to not to go along with the public servant. That's the only abatement he has done. He has not asked B to cause any kind of grievous hurt to public servant. However, here A is punishable for both the offenses. First one for instigating B or for abating B to not to go with public servant, and then for the grievous hurt also he is responsible. That is how we need to understand section 112. With that, I am concluding this particular session, but remember, this is not the end of abatement. We have 8 more very important sections, and all these sections are very important. So I am not in any kind of hurry to go very fastly on these aspects. I will give sufficient information on each of these sections, because whenever you are reading abatement, you should connect to chapter 5. That is very important. With that, I am concluding this particular session. Thank you so much for subscribing my channel. Please like, share and comment my videos. All the very best for whatsoever purpose you are referring my channel, and thanks again.